Gunslinger is among the most complex characters available in Lawbreakers, but also one of the most powerful. Let's take a look at how best to use him and how to be as effective as possible with him. Let's get started. Wielding pistols in each hand and warping around the battlefield, you wouldn't be making a huge stretch to compare him to everyone's favorite poster girl from another game entirely. However, this is where the similarities end. Gunslinger plays a massively different role and requires a far different skill set that feels truly unique and challenging to learn. Named the Alpha and Omega, Gunslinger's pistols are about as different from each other as they could possibly be. The Alpha, his left-handed pistol, fires a 3-round burst with each shot dealing 20 damage at all ranges, holding enough ammo for 9 bursts. It has a very quick rate of fire, although holding down the left mouse button or left trigger will not fire the weapon at its full auto speed. I'm not sure whether or not this is intentional, as this guide is being made based purely off of beta material so far. The Alpha is a projectile weapon, meaning that you have to lead your shots in order to hit moving targets. These projectiles will always deal 20 damage, with the exception of headshots, of course. These headshots will deal 30 damage as opposed to the normal 20. The Omega, on the other hand, is the real star of the show. This pistol is useful at all ranges due to its hit scan nature. Hit scan means that there is a no bullet travel time. Wherever your crosshair is when you fire the weapon, the game will determine whether you hit or not instantly. You never lead your shots with this weapon, no matter how fast and how far away your target might be. This weapon also has a charging mechanic. If you hold the trigger down, you're going to charge up your shot for increased damage at the cost of overall rate of fire. Good Gunslinger players will learn when it's appropriate to charge up and when it's better to just take quick shots in order to polish off a weakened target. At close range with a full charge, this pistol will deal 240 damage on a headshot, an absolutely devastating number that will bring the majority of the cast below half health in an instant. Of course, these numbers drop significantly with varying charge levels and ranges, but the point still stands. 300 to 400 damage bursts in close ranges are absolutely possible with this character under perfect conditions. The Omega is a constant battle against this aggressive damage falloff in its small magazine size, but if you can tame it, you've got immense power in the palm of your hand. When using these two pistols, you want to do everything in your power to avoid spamming both of your triggers. There's a specific rhythm to firing that I'm going to recommend that will help you to fire both of these guns in a more controlled manner, making you more ammo efficient while increasing your overall DPS by a pretty fair margin. At close to medium range, you're barely going to have to lead your targets with the Alpha pistol at all. You can effectively aim right at your target and still hit them with it with decent consistency, especially if you're in 0G and they're not moving fast. So let's combine firing the Alpha with the Omega in a very controlled way. We're going to lead off with the Omega. Assuming you go for a fully charged shot, wait until that shot is just about to fire. At that moment, go ahead and let go a right click, tap left click, and immediately begin holding right click again. This will let you fire off a quick burst from the Alpha while not interrupting your charging for the Omega, and definitely not interrupting your tracking with the Omega, which is critical. By training yourself to not simply hold that right click down and instead swap between firing both guns quickly, the speed at which you can burn people down in these close range fights is really a sight to behold when you get really good at it and you get a really good piece on your targets. Generally, I wouldn't recommend spamming left click unless you're out of Omega ammo and you're fishing to finish someone off with just a sliver of HP left. Spamming between the Alpha and Omega is pretty useful mid-range against AD/AD spamming characters, which is left and right strafing really fast, and it's a viable way of making sure you land some damage when it's hard to guarantee an Omega hit, but otherwise, it's almost always most efficient to just go for those full charge Omegas whenever possible. Spamming uncharged right clicks does have some zoning use at very long range though, so keep that in mind as well. Gunslinger reloads are long, and you always need to consider shot efficiency, and getting caught reloading both of your guns is going to put you out of the fight for a very long time, or will outright just get you killed in a lot of situations. Moving forward, we're still not quite done with Gunslinger's guns. His movement ability allows him to teleport in any direction he chooses, which I think is pretty easy to wrap your head around, but what's not immediately apparent is that this teleport ability also gives you a buff to your weapons when you use it a certain way. What's not immediately apparent is that for a very brief window after leaving your teleport, if you fire the Alpha pistol, which is your left-handed pistol, you're going to notice that the Gunslinger extends both of his arms, places both pistols a bit farther in front of himself and a little closer together, and fires both of them in 2 quick bursts each. This is called a warp combo, and can allow you to deal a good chunk of damage very quickly. As you can see, the ways in which you fire your guns just gets more and more complicated the more we dive into this character, so let's break this part down as well. As cool as this ability is, I don't recommend that you just spam it all the time and waste all of your teleports, all of your dashes, just to use it as often as possible, because it's really not worth it. There's 4 specific scenarios that I'm going to bring it up where I think it's truly useful and truly usable, but I kind of just think you shouldn't use it too often outside of these particular scenarios, because you want to use the ability to its strengths while simultaneously not just depleting your ammo reserves and missing a lot of shots and generally just feeling bad about the character. So here's the 4 tips. First, if you're chasing somebody down who is running away from you, the raw speed with which you can put these 2 shots from each gun out while using the warp combo is sometimes the best way to kill them quickly before they can escape you. Second, if you're in a close quarters fight with somebody and they're very low on health, you can spam them down with this ability really easily if you've got the dash charge ready. Basically, you can just replace good aim with a flurry of bullets in this case. Third, if you've got a really aggressive class like Wraith rushing you down and getting in your face, teleporting backwards and warp comboing them over and over and over will very often equal one very dead Wraith on your hands. Fourth, if you're in dire need of a speed boost, you can actually use the warp combo to give you a pretty decent impulse to send you soaring through no gravity zones easy peasy. So what you'll do is walk backwards towards where you want to go, then dash in that direction and immediately trigger your warp combo. This is basically a ghetto backfire that allows you to use both your guns for the purposes of speeding you up, which I think is really, really cool. Traditionally, you would just backfire with the Omega, which provides nearly no impulse at all, so this technique could be a serious boon when speed trounces all. Either way, you always need to consider that Omega ammo is your most precious resource, so using it for speed needs to be a very careful decision. You don't want to use this all the time. It's only a sometimes thing. But worth noting is that while backfiring the Omega, you can still fire the Alpha pistol normally. I don't have any footage of this, but I have done it in previous betas and can confirm that it is still a thing and is an intended thing. This makes Gunslinger the only class that can shoot in 2 directions at the same time. You can shoot both behind you and in front of you all at once, and it's really, really cool. Now, does this have any practical application? Absolutely not, because if you have right-click ammo and you're trying to, move through a space quickly while shooting at an opponent, you're better served by just killing them and not using the right-click to, it's just not the smartest thing in the world to focus on doing. It's just a nice, niche little parlor trick and nothing more. Your second ability is a throwing knife that, when it strikes the target, sends out a ping over a small area, highlighting enemies and showing them through walls, allowing them to be seen by all teammates for a few seconds. It deals 200 damage on a direct hit, and if you're at point blank range with an enemy when you choose to use it, you're going to stab them directly with the knife instead of throwing it, which is really, really cool. And you're still going to put it on its normal 20-second cooldown whenever you do that, by the way. So whether you throw it or stab somebody with it, you're going to put it on that exact same cooldown. So don't think you're going to skip it by stabbing somebody. Now, if you're just playing pubs and you just want to do something cool, this is a really, really cool ability to take advantage of. But if you're in a try-hard match, you're sweating your ass off with your teammates, and you just really, really want to focus on winning the game, I would never in a million years suggest you actually try to use this on somebody, because you need to use this ability on cooldown. You need to use it as something to buff your team and to help your team, and actually to kind of buff yourself as well. Using it as something to get a style kill on somebody is simply not worth it 99.99% of the time. What I'm really trying to say here is that you should be using this ability on cooldown, which means you should be using it as often as the game allows you to use it, because it's such a boon for your team. Use it in that way, not as a style kill tool. Finally, you have your boss ability, called the Equalizer. This turns both of your weapons into fully automatic, projectile-based guns that fire simultaneously and deal heavy damage on hit. Upon activating this ability, all of your dashes are replenished, which is a tremendous help in allowing you to close the gap from playing super long range with the Omega to getting in people's faces with the insane DPS of this boss ability. Generally, your playstyle is going to flex between 2 main paradigms with this class. First, the easy one, long range support. Use range to your advantage, stay close to cover, and plink away at people with impunity. Due to there not being any natural health regeneration in the game outside of Battle Medic self-heal, your damage will absolutely add up over time. And if you really catch somebody out of position, it's really reasonable that you're going to straight up delete them from halfway across the map if you have that above average aim. The second playstyle is more of a flanker or hard carry fragger for your team. When you play Gunslinger inside of his damage fall-off range, it's nearly impossible for anyone to outdamage and kill you alone, and you're absolutely going to dumpster the enemy team's flankers if you have good enough aim to hit them. Your ultimate ability threatens full team wipes on a 75-second cooldown, and as long as your team burns at least partway through their health, you can easily do the rest of the work yourself in very short order. You can set up really big ults no matter your range, since you can mash every teleport you've got before activating the boss ability and having every charge instantly replenished. You won't be crossing full maps, but definitely expect to get from the middle of Vertigo to the satellite location on that map without breaking a sweat when it's time to boss up. You've got to remember though that this game is all about those no gravity zones. On a lot of maps, if your team is control a mid, you can soar through these zones and have total dominance over a good portion of the map with that Omega pistol. Don't be afraid to get close though, because your damage output is fantastic and those teleport dashes will make you insanely evasive in those fights, letting you maintain the upper hand and prove who the real boss is. Go for those sneak attacks on low HP targets whenever possible because you can waste them in the blink of an eye. Your general goal is going to be softening up targets as they approach the objective and finishing off anyone trying to contest. Catching anyone out of position in 0G with the Omega is absurdly punishing, so take advantage and you'll be topping the scoreboards in no time. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you found this guide helpful. If you've got any tips about Gunslinger or questions about him, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to help you out, and I'd love to read what you guys have learned about the character as well, because we're all in this to become better players. No one could possibly know everything before the game even comes out, so let's share strats and figure out how to be the best Gunslingers possible. This guide would have never happened without the help from the amazing and incredible and stunning gunslinger player named Ruff from the clan AC. This is a man who I am absolutely delighted to know. My life has done nothing but change for the better since meeting this person, and I can only see positive things for the future. Oh, and by the way, bipolar fish help too. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.